Okay, you're probably wondering, like, what does Banter do? And let's take a look at a prior slide that we did. We had left text and our right text. Using those two, let's see, right text. We use the timelines to set up the fade in. Welcome to ZapTheater after 2 seconds, and after 5 seconds, glad to be here. So, let's see what we can continue to do with Banter, because that integrates also with those two. Okay, so get rid of those. And now we've got Banter. Once again, open, close. And we're going to start, because that faded in at 6, but started at 5. Maybe 8 seconds might be a good starting point for our first Banter. And if you look at this form, okay, it's going to start at 8 seconds. And if you hover over any of these fields, it's going to tell you what that field is for. Okay, so we've got our left caption and our left image. On this side, right caption, right image. And so these two fields are actually to change the image. You can change the caption, the text in the caption, and you can change the image itself. So the left image and the right image, you can swap. You can swap with new images. And also you can left caption font size, font color, background color for the caption, border color, border padding, border width, and the Z index. We're going to come back to Z index in a minute. Okay, so let's say we got this guy saying this was started at 5 minutes. Glad to be here. So let's say, or at 5 seconds. So at 8 seconds, let's say, see, what does Banter do? Question mark. Update preview. So now you can see that the text changed at that time. So now let's dress it up a little bit. Let's say that it was sort of hard to notice that changing. So let's go here and change the text color to tomato. Update preview. See, now you can notice when it changes, although that wasn't a good selection of color because it doesn't stand out too well. Let's go with red. Okay, now also, okay, let's say the right caption background color. Let's go ahead and well, let's change the size first, okay? So right now, the default, we've set it to, if you recall here on input, and we can change that to, oops, let's go with 3. Now let's go with 2.5. You can do you can do fractions, decimal places, whatever. Update preview. So you can see that it's now a larger font. Let's go back to 2 though, just for the heck of it. Oops, 22 is going to be pretty big, so we'll just go back to 2. And we can add a background color. Let's go ahead and add a yellow background with a dark blue border. And let's change the border padding, the font padding to, just for the heck of it, let's go with something big, 15. And that's the padding between the font and the border. And for our, let's see, in this one here, let's go border width. Let's go with 20 on the border width. So it's going to make a radical change to that right font, to the right caption. Update preview. Okay, point it around, that we come back over to here to our input, and we want the corner to be 20 pixels. Update, preview. You're usually going to want around that. Okay, so that looks a lot better. Oops. So you get the idea of what Banter does, and so come back over here, and let's see. Let's change the image itself. So we've over here we changed the text. So let's go ahead and at 11 seconds, let's have her say, "It's so cool." And let's go ahead and change the image to, in fact, let's put an exclamation in there. We can make the font bigger, we can do all that, but no need to do that now. For demo purposes, you've seen it here. But let's go ahead and swap the image. Okay, now this particular image of her is her not smiling. Let's go ahead and see, copy image address. Okay, and this is sort of a shortcut because I already know what the link is. The same link, except it's a 1 instead of a 6. Press red 1. So update, preview. So her image also changed. The text changed and the image changed. And okay, now let's say when she says "it's so cool." Now remember before we had. Let's go with preview here. We had when she's talking, we want to disappear the caption on the right and vice versa, because that way the viewer's eye focuses on the only text that's available. Okay, so what we want to do is when she responds, where does Banter go? Or I'm sorry, down here, "it's so cool." What we want to do is remove him, and we're just putting any. Well, I'm going to put a. This is the easiest way to do it. It's in HTML. It's just a break. BR in angle brackets. So hit update, preview, and you're going to see there's going to be a problem though. We'll see in a second here. Oops, what did I do here? Update. Okay, let's see. Caption should disappear now. Okay, preview it. See, it disappears at the same time. But we've already put a background here and a border, and so it's sort of dumb to have the caption disappear, but not the background and border. So what we want to do is we want to change our. Remember, this is your font, the border padding. We want to change that to 0, and we want to change the border width to 0. Update, preview. Okay, so now when she says "it's so cool," his text disappears, and as you go down and you add banters between the two, you can that makes it easy to just you can also do that with using the opacity feature that we used already here in the text. So you could go 0. You could change that along the timeline, but when you're having these two banter back and forth, it's really simple and easy just to have it disappear like I just showed you. And the other thing that you can do with Banter is, let's close this. the other thing that you can do is let's go down to this next slide. Okay. Now in this particular slide, we want to look at the left text. Okay. And oops, I'm at the left image. Okay, so the left image, we have the left image is set that it scrolls across and back. And close input so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so we've got it all on one screen here, and we've got some banter here. Okay, and when this thing moves back, okay, so it this is set so it moves left over a course of 3 seconds. It's going to move the left image, her, 50% across the screen, and at the end of 4 seconds, it's going to through the 8-second timeline, it's going to move her back. Okay, and as she goes across, well, let's go ahead and take this out. Okay, take that out. Okay, update preview. Okay, you can see what happens. Now you'll notice that she's behind the clown. Whoops. I didn't update that. Let's see here. Okay, she's behind the clown, and she stays behind the clown. Okay, and this is where your Z index comes in. So we can see here that at 3 seconds, she's moving for between 3 and 4 seconds. She's from 0 to 3 seconds. She's moving halfway across the screen, and here, so at 3.5 seconds, and she comes back. She turns around and comes back at 4 seconds. She stops and comes back. And let's look at that again. So she comes across. She's behind the clown. She comes back. She's still behind the clown. Okay. So what we want to do is in our banter routine. Remember, this is your left image. Is this box? Is the second row here? And in that row, we're going to put 1. Okay, now the way a Z index works, notice that Z index. The way the Z index works, by default, everything's 0. But if you add the first image you add is going to be behind the second image that you add, and that's just an HTML feature. And the Z index allows you to stack that one in front of that one. Okay. So by default, she's going to be behind the clown, but when we change this to 1, that puts her in front of the clown. So when she's moving across, this doesn't happen until 3.5 seconds. She's going to be completely moved across at 3 seconds, so by the time she's across, at that point in time, she's still behind the clown. A half a second later, she's in front of the clown, and when she moves back, her Z index is 1, and she will be in front of the clown. So she's behind the clown, and now she's in front of the clown. Let's look at that one more time. Preview. Behind the clown, and now in front of the clown. And when you're making, and you can do that with the captions and the images, and it's a really handy feature. So that is the end of this lesson about banter. And you can see each of these things are pretty easy to deal with. And then you can open various items on the screen, text, and well, in this case the image, and banter, and you can look at, okay, 3 seconds, 3.5. That's how you coordinate. And coordination between the images and the text and the backgrounds, which we'll get to shortly, or in a future lesson, those are the things that make ZapTheater dynamic. And thanks for watching.